Hey there! Did you know that small businesses are extremely vulnerable to attack from cyber criminals right now? And that most don't survive for more than 6 months after a cyber incident? John Byrne here, entrepreneur, insurance professional, online educator, and founder of Surviving Cyber. My goal is to help small business owners and managers like you get to grips with this complex subject of cyber risk. You may be struggling now to clearly see the big picture, but once you separate the myth from the truth, you can begin to significantly reduce your risk. Over the next 15 days through this video series, I'm going to walk you through 15 dangerous cybersecurity myths you probably believe. I'll explain the thinking behind each myth, why it's dangerous to believe it, and the truth you need to hear so that your small business can stay safe. Now, before we dive in, I want to give you access to my free Cyber Resilience Workshop. It's a 60-minute video workshop that will show you how to create your first survival plan for your small business in 30 days. It's full of practical tips that you can implement. If you don't already have access, use the link survivingcyber.com/workshop to register now. I'll also put that link in the video description below. Now today, as we continue the video series, we're going to talk about myth number 9. The cybersecurity of others is not our concern. I hope you're ready to dive in. I'm John Byrne, and this is 15 dangerous cybersecurity myths you probably believe. Welcome to myth number 9. The cybersecurity of others is not our concern. This is a very understandable myth. It's clear why small companies might wish to believe this. There is enough work to be done in getting small companies to up their cybersecurity, so having to be concerned about the cybersecurity of other companies may seem like a step too far. Let's examine the thinking here. The first point is the obvious. Getting our own house in order is more than enough work for us. This is a way of thinking, and it's very common that small companies would think this way. No one we deal with cares about the cybersecurity of our small business. This is a view sometimes expressed by small business owners and managers. However, it's largely a mistaken view. Small companies trade with larger companies, and larger companies certainly care about the cybersecurity of the small companies that are members of their supply chain. So believing that nobody cares about the cybersecurity of a small business is a mistake. There are in fact many people who care about your cybersecurity. And you also hear the view, we have a very small supply chain of our own, so we're not exposed by the actions of others. It's true, small companies will have a small supply chain of their own. That is, companies who supply them with goods and services. However, no matter how small the supply chain is, there's always a need to review the risk. But in any event, these are the views that you often hear expressed by small companies when considering this issue of the cybersecurity of others not being their concern. It's a dangerous myth because it fails to recognize that no business operates in isolation, and all businesses are connected. As we've said, they're connected to other businesses, and that involves exposing your business to the failings in cybersecurity of companies that you trade with. It also implies that the companies who trade with you as a supplier will be concerned about the risk you bring to their business through their supply chain. And as the slide says, large companies, they view small companies as risky components of their supply chain. And even small companies have small supply chains of their own that they need to review and they need to manage. So let's look at the truth behind this myth. So here's truth number 9. The cybersecurity of third parties is your concern. It's true, the cybersecurity of your own business has to be top priority. but one element of your risk is the risk you acquire through the third parties that you trade with. Why? Because those third parties may have access to your data, to your systems. You will certainly have ongoing financial transactions with people that you trade with, and those transactions can be targeted for fraudulent payments, such as invoice redirection or CEO fraud. Now, invoice redirection is where the cyber criminals know that there's a payment to be made from your company, and they arrange for that payment request to be sent to you fraudulently, but appearing to be from the supplier who is owed the money. And so the invoice is redirected effectively to the fraudulent bank account of the cyber criminals. Invoice redirection is a major problem in both the UK and Ireland right now. CEO fraud is a variation where the payment instruction is sent into the company and the CEO is effectively impersonated. So the email may appear to come from the CEO saying, I want this payment made, I'm not contactable, please go ahead and I'll authorize this later. Something of that nature is a CEO fraud. So for small companies, these are real issues that make the cybersecurity of third parties your concern and make your cybersecurity the concern of the third parties that you trade with. Surveys have always shown that small companies are part of the supply chain of large companies, and those large companies are concerned about the risk that your business brings to their cybersecurity. So eventually you will be dropped as a supplier to a large company that is cyber aware if at some stage you cannot evidence the fact that you have an acceptable cybersecurity posture. And so that's a risk to your business. And finally, the suppliers of your business could be in a small supply chain, but you've still got to manage that because it only takes one entry point, one company to expose your company to risk through cybersecurity, through lax cybersecurity of that company. And it's worth remembering that some of the worst cyber attacks that we've seen so far have been of this nature, supply chain attacks. So the truth, sadly, is the cybersecurity of third parties really is your concern. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful in exploding this myth and revealing the truth. Don't forget to register for the video workshop using the link survivingcyber.com/workshop or click on the link in the video description below. I hope to see you tomorrow as we dive deeper into 15 dangerous cybersecurity myths you probably believe, so we can uncover the truth of how to keep your small business safe.